Hey, it's Kansas, just Kansas, and I'm so happy to see you guys again. Last time we left off, I had just got done making my chocolate lava muffins. There's supposed to be an espresso sauce with them. I didn't make the espresso sauce with them, you know that. So what else? This is my third video, and I'm going to try and do true crimes. Now, I've seen some true crime videos, and they're a bit longer, or they have more details, and I tried, but when I try and elongate things, I tend to just stick to the point and leave out some of the good facts. So I tried to elongate this as much as I could. Before we begin, I'm going to state that I have some opinions, very strong opinions about this case, but I'm going to try not to let them show, because I want you guys to have your own opinions about it and not be like, oh, this is how she feels, this is how I feel, because that's not fair. So I'm going to try and keep my opinions to myself. We're going to be talking about AZARIA Chambers. At just 2 months old, she was taken from her family while camping by what her mother said was a pack of dingoes. Now, this is popular in pop culture, like they reference it in several things. I know in Supernatural it's Dingo Ate My Baby Crazy. I know because I have an artwork piece that says Dingo Ate My Baby Crazy that I absolutely adore. So basically, at just 2 months old, her family, who lived in Australia at the time, went to the outback to go camping where there had been a dingo sighting recently. And I asked, who really wants to take a 2-month-old camping? Like, they're fussy, they cry, and now you're going to put them on hard ground to sleep in? Yeah, I guess they'd pack in place, but that just doesn't seem relaxing. But anyway, so it was her, it was AZARIA, her mother Alice, her father, and her 2 brothers. They're camping, and the mom goes and puts AZARIA down to sleep. And she goes back to the campfire with her husband and 2 sons, and they're just doing campfire things, probably roasting s'mores or eating dinner. And then she goes back to the tent and says she sees a dingo, and then goes in the tent and finds that her baby is missing. Now, she starts screaming that a dingo got her baby, and she's just hysterical at this point. And one thing, though, is so the police were called. They found out that they were recently near a dingo burrow cave. I don't know where dingoes sleep. But they couldn't find any evidence of it. They found a jacket, small handprint on it, and that was on AZARIA, that was around her jumper. And in 1986, they actually found the romper the baby was in, and they reopened the case and decided that AZARIA was actually taken by a pack of dingoes. Now, it said that if you give dingoes like a pack of meat wrapped in parchment paper, they can unwrap it and leave the paper intact. But this being said, the jumper was found inside out. So they had, and the jacket was like just a little button-up sweater cardigan. So how would a dingo have perfectly got that out, left it there, taken the dingoes, I think it was a couple 100 meters down the way, taken off a jumper, flipped it perfectly inside out, and left it there for 5 years, and not had it be like eaten or played with by puppies, or, I mean, there's a lot of, well, indecisiveness. So the mom is tried for murder, and she's saying she didn't do it. But they found, like I said, the cardigan with the handprint on it. They found blood on a pair of scissors in the car, and in the camera bag, and in the car that had a certain hemoglobin in it that is only found in babies under 9 months old. And when they found the jumper, the sweater, they said that there was blood around the neck in what could be stated as a slit throat. So that's some pretty damning evidence. A little backstory on Alice. She goes by Lindy. She actually moved from New Zealand to Australia in '69, met her husband, who was also from New Zealand, in Australia. They married the same year she got there, and 4 years later had a boy. And so they had a boy in '73, another boy in '79, and then AZARIA in 81. 1980. They go camping, she goes missing, like I previously stated. And when the mom went to trial, she was said to be cold and distant, and a lot of people say it's because she married a Seventh-day Adventist, which isn't true. I feel like any mother who, if their child were truly missing and they did not do it themselves and were trying to cover it up, would be kind of hysterical. You're not just like, oh, I belong to XYZ religion or group or cult or wherever you choose to fit in, I don't care, and just, oh, my daughter's dead. Like, you don't act like you're upset, you're something. But this one was cold and disheartened, and that says something. When the trial started, her neighbor went up to bat for her. A very empathetic mother. She just and the neighbor also said she didn't think the mother had any mental health illness, but that's not fair to say, because the mother could have very well had, like, what's it called? I can't think of it. Just stumped me. Could have had postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis or something that isn't seen. Just because the neighbor said she didn't have it doesn't mean she didn't have it, because it was the 80s. You didn't talk about mental health the way you do now, and even now it's not talked about. So that's the story of AZARIA Chambers. I don't know whether she did it or not. I do know that in 1982, while in prison, she did give birth to her second daughter, Kalia. And since she got out of prison, her and her husband have divorced and she remarried. And recently her husband died of cancer. So no one knows if she did it or not. All the evidence kind of points like there was something suspicious. The blood in the car, the blood on the scissors, the blood around the neck of the jumper. You know, they've done tests before, and a dingo can stretch its mouth, so it can fit around the head of a baby. But it doesn't make sense. Do I think she did it? I don't know. I think there's something seriously fishy up with that whole scenario. So, you know what, next week we're going to do something a little less intense, and I'm going to figure out my backdrop situation, because I had one and now I don't, and that's okay. But I ordered a desk, so maybe we'll start doing this in a row. Next week we are doing blindfolded makeovers, and I hope to see you there. Ciao for now.